Hope you're enjoying the game. Any feedback? Oh, is Derek a dev? Hello, Derek. Yes, I actually have feedback. Since you're an actual person on the team, here's my feedback that I feel like this game could really improve on. First thing is polish. Right? So like, for example, when I wear certain helmets, it would be really nice. Like if I have a skull helmet and I put it on, it would be really nice to see that on my character. There's some helmets and some pieces of gear where you put on, it doesn't actually change the look of the character. And I feel like if that were to be implemented in the game, which I know requires time and resources and all that stuff, but I think over time, if eventually all the items actually had a unique look to them, it would be a major W. The polish would be a lot better. You know what I mean? It would just give it more polish. It's probably better way to phrase that. Another thing is the sounds, I feel like could be a little bit better. Like there are certain moments, for example, where you die and there is no like impactful sound to go with that. You know what I mean? I just think like the sounds in general and certain things that happen in the game, I think it could be a little bit cleaner. It could feel a little bit more impactful. Like when I die in this game, I don't hear anything. It's just the screen just kind of fades and like I don't hear like a dying sound. I don't hear like a hard hit that was taken or something like that. Does that make sense? True, sometimes I don't even realize I died. Yeah, exactly. So I think that type of polish is lacking a little bit. Again, none of these things kill the integrity of the game or the content of the game. So these are all just things that I feel like are in the polish department where players can absolutely willing to wait for these types of changes. But once these changes are implemented, it will really make this game feel more like a AAA title. And it's not just limited to death. I think it's other things as well. You know, just making things feel and look more impactful. There are some skills that you use and it feels pretty impactful, right? I think that just needs to kind of extend throughout all areas of the game. Another thing, this is my personal preference, but I really think it would be nice if you guys added a little bit of character customization. It doesn't have to be insane, but personally, as someone that has an MMO background, I know a lot of MMO players are willing to try and dip into ARPGs simply because ARPGs are kind of like condensed MMOs, as I was mentioning earlier on my stream. And I know that's not the target audience, but still, it can be, right? It's like a blue ocean type of thing. But I think you lose a lot of people or a decent amount of people that would like a little bit of character customization. You know, like right now, a black male is the only option you have for Sentinel. Some people are going to want to play like a white female or an Asian female or something to play that archetype, right? And I think giving people that type of flexibility, even male, female as well, I think that would be really good. I'm sure that's going to cost a lot of money though. That's also the plans, but it is also the most time consuming thing. So we're planning tight. Yeah, I get that. We definitely have plans for that. That's a huge W then. That's all I needed to know. And like I said, these are things that don't kill your current player base. And there are things that people are waiting to wait for because you've got a really good core game. So I think that's great. And the last thing that I would say, and keep in mind, this is coming from the perspective of a relatively new player. I think the map could be done a little bit better. The map as a brand new player was a little bit confusing. Number one, you've got different eras, which if you understand the system, it's super simple and easy to understand. But as a new player coming in, you're not used to having different eras and it's just a little bit kind of confusing. And sometimes I kind of get, in the beginning, sometimes I kind of got lost with like where I was in the map. Like for example, like when I'm in the end of time, right? When I was like in that little area where after you finish the monolith echo, you get into that little like weird little area, you know, where you kind of open your treasure chest and whatnot. I remember as a new player, when I opened my map, trying to figure out where the hell I go next, trying to figure out where I was, it didn't actually show where that is because it's obviously kind of like a separate instance that's not in the world. So I get that. But like as a new player coming into it, I was just a little bit confused. And at times I was lost with where I was relative to the map. And I haven't heard anyone, based off of the streams that I've had, there have been people that have certainly said the map is fine, but I haven't heard anyone say that the map system and everything is laid out really well. And I have heard feedback from people, mainly new people, saying that the map is kind of scuffed and they don't really, yeah, it's kind of confusing at first. So, you know, like if you have a map where no one's really necessarily saying, oh, this is awesome and laid out amazing, and you do have a small group of people that are saying, oh, you know, mainly the new players that are saying it's kind of confusing a little bit and I'm not used to seeing it. Typically, when that's the general consensus, for me, it means that could be improved. I'll be honest, for me personally, the map almost pushed me away from playing the game back in the day before I was really diving into ARPGs, when I was just trying it out because I wanted to check it out. When I looked at the map and I was like, I don't know, man. Is it true, by the way, Derek, is it it true that you guys are gonna set your cycle schedule around Path of Exile and like try to time it so that it's on the back end of their seasons so that people can like do both seasons? I heard that was the case, Derek. I don't know if that's true or fake news, but that's what I heard. I don't know 100%, but that's very likely. We have a good relationship with GGG. That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, and this is also a very small thing, but like I think some of the loading zones for like to get into the next map, like let's say this is a loading zone, I think it's too big. So this might be kind of difficult to explain. I'm gonna have to show you this. This is what I was talking about. You know these zones? I think these zones, like I guess the hitbox for where the zone starts, the actual line that determines when you get pushed into the next zone, I think it's too big. Like right here, like it literally pushed me into the zone here. Like I feel like it should be a little bit more here because it's like if you get anywhere near it, sometimes I don't know. I just think it's too big. I feel like for me to go back to Keeper's Camp, I should at least run into this area right here. Actually, you can't see it because of my camera. Like having to run like at least to here, but like sometimes some zones I would already be pushed into the next zone, to that zone, by just being here. This one's actually better. Like this one's a little bit better. This is where the box is, right? But some of them it's like really out, because here's the thing, right? I don't want the map to reset sometimes. If I clear a zone and I'm like, okay, let me get close to the exit, but I don't want to like reset the map, but I don't want to like, you know, die or pull aggro, so I'm gonna get close to the entrance, but then I get pulled in because the entrance area is so large, and then I end up resetting the map, right? Or I lose the items that are there, right? So I feel like that definitely happened to me a number of times when I was going through the campaign, and it was really annoying. So yeah, on the radar for sure, but we have bigger priors. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. I think overall the game has been fantastic. The important part of it, like the itemization, the gearing, the crafting, the actual content you have in the game is great, and I think that's why you guys have such a big hype surrounding this in the ARPG community, because like Diablo 4 had a lot of hype and positivity going into the launch simply because people didn't know what to expect, and it was polished. This game, people know what to expect because it's been out to play and there's hype to it, which is a testament to how good the game is at a core. So I think the only thing that's missing so far with this game, which is reasonable because it's like a Kickstarter game, right, is that polish. You add some AAA polish to this game and bam, I think it's a home run, man. There's my feedback.